So now that we've shared everything with all of our students, and you've had a look at the student view, and the student has now made comments and submitted things. If I have a scroll down here, you can see that the student has commented back to me. You'll see that I have upcoming work that I need to do as well that's due, and so that means that I'm going to have to mark and provide feedback on that soon. If I go to my class work, if I scroll down to skills work, you'll see there's one comment there. So if I post that up, there's a class comment. This is what the student has commented, and so I can reply to them and say, please read the instructions in the document and post that back to the whole class, and that will save the student from asking 100 questions because they can see other people's comments. You could also see here that one is turned in and one has been assigned. And so if I click now on the turned in one, and now it's showing me that Daniel Jackson has submitted this, and so now it's ready for grading. And Melanie has not. So if I click on Mel's, for example, it's still here. I can still click on it and see if she's done any work. And so in here, if she's done work on it, I can use comments up here. So just highlighting and then creating a comment, and that comes off to the side, and I can comment straight to the student there. Over here on the right, I can add private comments on the document as well for the student. You can provide a grade for the student, even though they have not submitted it. I can still give them a grade in Google Classroom, which is really good for those students who forget everything. Up here, this is the files. So she's only given me one file. If she gives me more than one file, they'll be listed underneath here, and I can just click through each one of those files. And here, I can also create a comment bank. You can also add to the comment bank. So you can just put in a comment that you like there. So that's repetitive. So well done, for example, you might put in there. And also another way to add something from there is if I do actually create this comment and say this is spelled incorrectly and click comment, I can then on the three drop downs add this to the comment bank, and it will then appear on the right here as well, so that I can do that for multiple students. I can get the link to this comment as well if I want to. But that's just providing comments and building up a comment bank. Go back to the file. I can provide her with a grade. Let's say she got 4 because she didn't finish it and it's past its due date. Provide a comment for her that says you need to ensure you complete your assessment task by the due date, and post that back to her. And then you'll see up here it says that it's not returned. Okay, so I can return this to her even though she hasn't submitted it. Return the submission or return multiple submissions. What I want to do is go to the other student who is before Melanie, and here this is the student who put everything in, and so now I might want to make a comment. And so if I do hashtag, you'll see that my comment bank comes up underneath, and I can click well done and comment there. I can say that they got 10 out of 10. I can put here this is great, or more detailed feedback obviously than that, but you'll see here that they're the private comments. This is where the private comments come up as well that the student has made to me, and I can be just kind of replying back to their comment and say, I have finished going through your draft, please see detailed comments in the document. Okay, you can also just do that to them. And now that I've marked everyone's, I could just return this student, but I can click here and return all of the students' work all at once as well. So let's just click for returning this student's, click return. Okay, return the mark to me. And you'll notice this is opened up in a separate tab at the top as well. Now that I've gone through, I've provided feedback and I've marked my students' drafts or whatever it is that they've done. If I now go back into this classroom, you'll see that they've got marks on them. You can see that they're under assigned or graded now. And then if I get out of that, now if I go to grades, you can see what mark they got out of 10. It says no grade. That's because I haven't returned it yet. So I need to actually return. See, I can click that and return it from here. If I choose to return it, it'll change and she'll have a grade, and the average will then change as well. But that's an insight into what is at the back end in terms of being able to provide feedback and comments and chat to your students. You can also at any time just click straight on any of your students and it will open up your student's profile, so you can see just that student's work that they have done or not done, whether they've turned it in, what's been returned with grades, and if anything is missing for that individual student, which can be good. I'll show you in another classroom that in the settings, so this is my business one, so it doesn't have quite the same settings. It's just missing one of them. So if I quickly switch over to a different account, and I'll quickly show you what it looks like if you want to set up parent guardian summaries. Now that guardian summary email will arrive according to the settings. So if I go into settings, you can see guardian summaries there. They've been turned on. And so I can click here and see an example. And so the guardian summaries that get sent look like this, where it has the student work that's been missing from the last week, what's due next, and then class activity from the last week that the students have done. And it will list it by class. And you'll notice that it says whether it's an assignment or whether it's been a question or what it has been that's been used. And so you just go through that, and that is what they will get, and they can unsubscribe to it at any point or change the settings if they like as well. Okay, so in your classroom, when you go to people at the top here, you'll actually see down here that you'll have an invite guardians button. Now, when you click on the invite guardians button, you just have to type in the person's email and invite them, and then that person will get an email and they need to accept it, and then they'll be a guardian, and then you can send guardian email summaries to them. So what the parent will get is this email that says that the teacher has invited them to be a guardian in the classroom, and it has the student's name and the college, and they just click accept, and then they can click accept to get classroom email summaries, and they get to choose how frequently they get it. So if they want it weekly, daily, or they don't want the summaries, and then what time zone that they are in to make sure they get them at the right time. So you can see then once it's been accepted, their name appears here. I can email all guardians. I can click here and email just that student's guardians, or I can invite more guardians if I want to. But that just allows you to actually email the guardian. You can email all the parents of your students in one email. It'll be blind CC'd and will have all of the customizations that you need to make sure that they get it and know that they're receiving it. So that is it for Google Classroom. Hopefully you're ready now to use it to really help your students to spend more time on task using this by using the scheduling features. It also will help you to differentiate if you post things that are specific for individual students, and allows you to provide a lot of feedback for your students that is just for them, that no one else can see. Or if you want to provide feedback for the whole class, you can do that as well, that is assessment specific, or in general. You can have class discussions up there as well to have increase student engagement with any kind of discussion, because everyone can post at the same time and read each other's work, rather than when you're talking and everyone has to wait for each other. So thanks guys, I hope you have fun putting this into practice.